All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode. I feel like we've been doing 100 of these already. Sporting Suits. My dog here, Mr. Goldrich, Coach Goldrich now.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go Hens.
Blue Hens,
The
man.
Blue
Represent.
Hens. So Sean is the, we've known each other for
8 years now? Something like that.
What
Yeah.
the fuck time we cheers,
Buzzed by
man.
quick, yeah,
Cheers,
no doubt.
cheers.
Yeah.
So he did his combine training and pro day training down in Tampa. Got introduced to him, was doing his combine training. We just became friends ever since. We're gonna get into that story. Matter of fact, fuck it, let's do it right now. Tell these folks how exactly it went.
I mean, this story's got to be one of one. I'm coming down to Florida. Obviously, I'm feeling like I'm the man. I'm excited about pro day training. I'm in Tampa, man. All is good. I'm familiar with the area. Get to a place called the Performance Compound. I think they changed the name at this point, right?
It's now like the house or something.
Really?
It was ASPI, then now Yo's doing his own thing. I actually just talked to Yo like 2 days ago.
Man, well, that place was awesome.
Yeah,
I'm getting there. I'm training around some big names. I'm feeling myself a little bit. And I walk in the first day, and there's no quarterback coach. But they told me I had one. They're like, man, we got a guy for you. Don't worry. He'll show up. I think it was the second day. I get in there, and the workout's over, and all of a sudden, Steven at the time, who I didn't really know who he was, I didn't really know much of anything at this point. I'm just trying to blend in. Comes up. He's like, hey, what's up, man? Steven, nice to meet you. It has a football in his hand. And he's like, hey, man, you want to get a couple throws in? And at this point, I'm like dead tired from the workout. I'm like, man, I don't even know who this guy is, but I guess, man, can't turn down an opportunity to get better. So he flips me the ball, and we sit there. We're probably about 10 yards away, and we're inside. So I'm thinking man, let's just take it easy. Maybe he just wants to, pop a couple in the air, keep it moving.
This is a great story.
Oh, man, this is beautiful. So I throw about 4 or 5, and I see him kind of sizing me up. And I'm like, Is there going to be a problem here? This guy's he's up, down, man, head to toe. Just what is this guy's problem? And I know I'm not throwing the ball hard, but I'm like, man, I just met you. You want to throw 99 off the mound. We can do that, but let's step outside for that one. So we get about, 10 yards away. I throw a couple, and then all of a sudden he looks at me. He's like, hey, man, how about you put a little on it? I'm like, okay. I'm like, I guess we're turning this thing up a little bit. He fires one back at me to kind of set the tempo, and I'm like,
Okay.
I'm like, here we go. I'm like, I guess we're doing this now.
We're live.
No idea who this guy is, but let's roll. And then I think I step back a couple yards and I put a little bit more into it. And he's just chirping me. He's like, are you for real, man? You could throw the ball. I could catch. I promise you. I put something on it. I'm like, all right, okay. I step back and throw another one. He's still sizing me up. I just see his disappointment. And I think, 5 minutes later, maybe, dude, now we're throwing heaters, in this place, just absolutely screaming the football. People are watching us and stuff, too. And I'm like, all right, man, now I'm kind of pissed off. I'm like, man, I got a problem with this guy, dude. I'm like, I don't even know if I want to speak to this guy again, let alone, I at the time didn't know you were my quarterback coach. And sure enough, he steps in, comes over, daps me up, and doesn't say anything but this. He goes, I'm Steven Garcia. I'm your quarterback coach. I'll see you in the morning. And I'm like, man, oh, that's perfect. So Yo pulls me aside after. He's like, oh, so you met Steven? I'm like, did I meet him? Goddamn right I met him.
Fucking guy's chirping me.
My fucking hands are stinging over here, dude. My arm is dead. I'm like, you just had 45 reps in here in 5 minutes.
God. That story doesn't get old. And then you are you allowed to explain the...
Yeah. I think we're at that point. We got over the hump with this one. So just like anybody, you're going through your pro day training, and I'm feeling myself. I'm like, man, I'm locking in for the next couple months, man. All I'm doing, I'm business oriented. I'm not drinking. I'm not partying. I'm waking up. I'm thinking about football 24/7. Really excited about the opportunity next, man. I got everyone telling me what's going on, how this NFL draft process is going to go. I'm feeling good. I think it was the third day of training. We're still kind of getting to know each other. I'm enjoying the work now. We're getting after the field works. All that stuff is good. He's like, hey, man, what are you doing later? I'm like, nah, not much, man. Recovery, all that stuff, just hanging around. He's like, meet me at this spot. We're going to go just, chop it up for a little bit. And I'm like, not thinking much of it again. I'm like, okay, just get a little business meeting, man, come up with our attack, maybe come up with a plan, maybe tell me what I'm doing wrong. All is good. So I go up there casually. Turns out it's a little whiskey bar. And I'm like, oh, I know these places all too well. I'm like, but damn, this is my pastime right now, man. Yeah. I'm locked in.
Yeah.
We sit down, or I remember looking at you being like, man, we're having this talk over here, and you, without hesitation, waiter comes over and you're like, hey, man, I'll do a, bourbon on the rocks, whatever you got. And you look at me, he's like, you doing anything? And I'm like, I'll do a water. And I see you just snap your head over and you're like, you'll do a what? And I'm like, man, I'm gonna stay focused, man. I know we're training in the morning. I'm gonna sip on the water tonight. You're like, I'll tell you something real quick. I remember this word for word. You're like, if you're not drinking, I'm not training you.
Literally.
Yeah, word for word. And we go back and forth for a couple minutes. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think about 3 minutes in, I gave in. I ordered a bourbon. We had a hell of a night.
Yeah.
And we were talking about everything that matters in the football world, the training stuff. And I think at that point, it taught me a couple things. One, you can never take playing quarterback too serious in some regards. Now you have to carry your business the right way off the field.
Right.
Can't be getting arrested, can't do all that stuff too. But being too uptight is not good for the position either. Like in my mind, now that I'm a coach, now that I'm around
exactly.
there's a difference to me in between being locked in and focused and having a little bit of an edge, and then playing nervous to mess up, and too afraid to fail.
Yep.
So trying to find that line was a valuable moment for me, man, because I'm thinking like, hey, this is what everyone's doing. They're not drinking, they're focused. All they do is live, breathe, sleep football.
It's how you burn out.
It's how you burn out.
Yeah.
In hindsight, then I meet all these guys at the next level, and they were crazier than I ever was.
100%. 100%.
You either got it or you don't. And I think that was kind of the message that you really kind of started instilling me. And we worked our ass off. Don't get me wrong.
And that's the thing. Like, we busted our ass.
Yep.
We didn't. That was only like we weren't drinking every damn night. We weren't drinking really that often at all. But I mean, we fucking busted our ass. But I needed to break that. Needed to break the ice and kind of see like who the hell you were, and there's no better way to find out who somebody is when you get them a couple cocktails and let them kind of spew a little bit.
So this was all when you were a quarterback and you were coaching him,
fresh out of college.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so I played. Probably could have set that up, but I played at University of New Hampshire and had a solid career. And I came down here. My agent sent me down this way, and my brother actually lives in the area, so it was an easy place for me to come get acclimated. I already kind of knew what was going on and seemed like the stars aligned. So when I came down, it was really the next step. And what everyone does, you go into your pro day training, you link up with a QB guy, and all you do is just think about football and all that stuff too. So I was a little bit naive to what really goes on in that world. But then obviously when we linked up, I realized what it takes, because everyone's got a different training model. And your training model was way more relative to what really happens in the game, which I still carry with me as a quarterback coach
100%.
today, and a lot of people like to do this bag training stuff and, working your feet over bags the whole time and doing stuff where you have, stationary targets and you're not really moving your feet,
it's
no
not
stress.
realistic, right?
And it's just like, that doesn't happen in a pocket, so how are you going to say, let's train this and see it show up on a Saturday when what you're training doesn't happen on Saturday, so I think we got a lot out of that, man.
Absolutely.
After that day, we never looked back, too,
No,
man.
that's for damn sure.
We worked our ass off, and I ended up having some great opportunities because of it. And he's been a great mentor for me since I kind of.
And I mean, kind of talk about that. So you go through pro day, you go through all the other stuff. I mean, talk about the opportunities that you had, and I mean, there's opportunities that you had that, I mean, I fucking didn't have.
Yeah, I mean, I really got lucky. I got super fortunate. I think. It kind of all stemmed from, the certain things that I did after college really kind of, I think, helped boost me up. The first one was I went to a showcase down in Texas called CGS, College Gridiron Showcase. And, it was an opportunity for me to go down there and kind of be around some of the better players in the country and, get a chance to practice with some of the best and have a bunch of scouts there. And they had every NFL team, a bunch of CFL teams show up. And, I thought I had a solid overall event, for the couple of days that I was there, interviews and all that stuff. And then, when I finally got to the game, I think I probably played the best in the game that I thought, like in terms of my performance for the weekend.
Right.
I think I stepped up, and I think that opened up some opportunities for me. At that time, or kind of put myself a little bit more on the map. And then I ended up talking to the Falcons after, and I ended up talking to the Bears a little bit.
Yep.
And those that ended up being the two teams come draft day that ended up giving me an opportunity to come in and work out for them and spend the weekend and learn football and all that stuff too. So was super fortunate for that. I think those opportunities really made me better, not only just as a player, but even as a coach now.
Right.
I can now connect the dots a little bit more of what it takes to be great at the next level and how you bridge the gap between being an elite college football player and what these guys in the NFL need to know.
No question about it.
It was insane.
And you were a rushing quarterback, actually, weren't you? Because you scored 20 touchdowns in your 4-year career in college, and you threw for 47 touchdowns. So I mean that's huge, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I think a little bit of testament. The offense that we were running. Coach Cardi, did a great job of balancing things out, and I think it's some of the stuff we still do today, which is pretty awesome. I was fortunate to be on a great team with some great players, and what we did was a little bit more unique at the time. We were a true West Coast, style run and gun, and take our deep shots, trick plays, and all that stuff that kind of I think makes the game fun. Around some great players, I think my skill set ended up fitting the system the way Coach Cardi envisioned it at the time, and we played a lot of football, won a lot of games, and
you even caught some balls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We threw in some trick plays now.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Yeah. He's got receiving yardage.
Yeah, you can
No
watch the film
shit.
now.
Yeah.
We did a little pitch pass to the running back, and I kind of dummied, rolled out to the left. And he turned around after he stretch zone.
Yeah.
Threw it back to me.
Cross
I
field.
think we picked up like 15 on that,
Oh,
baby. Yeah.
shit,
Big
man.
first down. We called it on 4th and 2 against
That's
Villanova.
exactly how much. 15 yards.
15
No
yards.
shit.
I swear, yeah. Against Villanova in a big situation.
And and this guy also tackled 3 people.
Yeah, that
Solo
might be the those
tackles.
interceptions. I definitely wasn't playing safety. I know that. Yeah.
But man, it's such an incredible journey, and that's why I wanted to get you on while you're down here. I mean, he's only down here for the week, and I was like, dude, I'd love to get you down and just kind of tell your story. I mean, I feel like it's interesting. haven't had a college coach, a former college player, pro player, and now he's a coach, and I feel like it's an interesting story that I'd like people to know.
Yeah.
Because it's not all. We've had guys that are still playing that, obviously Luka was just here, and there's guys that just graduated and then, go through all this adversity with knee injuries, shoulder injuries. And it's just, it's pretty cool for these people to understand that it's not all rainbows and fairy tales. Like there's a lot of fucked up shit, way more fucked up shit nowadays than probably ever before.
Ever.
So you graduated when?
2015.
2015. So you were before NIL. Before it wasn't even
before.
way before it was in the
Transfer portal wasn't a thing, all that stuff. So.
And now we got guys that are getting paid
So with your kind of record in high school, I mean, you were 25-4.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you probably would have made some money in college, right?
Yeah, I mean, you like to think. I think the new day and age now, what really opens up people's mind in football is the media accessibility that allows these kids to see what's going on out there.
Yeah.
Whether they're promoting like a fat contract or just seeing even facilities. Like you'd be so surprised at how much facilities impact the recruiting cycle for a kid. Like they want the best of the best.
100%.
They want the jersey that looks cool. They want to be training in the best gym. They want to be in a stadium packed with people. And I think what the difference is, when I was actually coming out, like Huddle Recruit wasn't even a thing. Like I was sending out my DVDs to people to get recruited.
We were VHS.
VHS, yeah.
Fucking
The good days.
fucking
That
right.
one. And that's when they used to have to go meet people and drop them off. They weren't always sending these things through the mail.
Right.
And then for us, like we used to burn CDs and send them out to coaches. And you never knew if they watched them or anything. You would just recruit yourself and then hope someone called. And that was back when letters meant a little bit more, and that's how you communicated. And home visits and all that
Actually
stuff
meant something.
Yeah. And when guys came into the school to recruit you, they were really doing a big evaluation on you because they didn't know as much about you because your film was harder to access and full game film was hard to get to. And
I
all
miss
that
those
stuff has
days. I mean,
changed,
do you
man.
miss those days, or is it? I mean, obviously it's easier for you now. You're on the other side of it. You're like, just send me your huddle.
I know.
I don't need to be doing all the traveling, all the kissing babies, shaking hands type deal.
Yeah. Well, it's twofold. I think as a coach now,
Kissing babies.
What people don't really realize is like a lot of, I have questions all the time like, hey, coach, what do you do in the off season? People think like college coaches, we
Right.
just show up on Saturdays, work through the season, then we take the rest of the year off.
Right. It's
Like all we do is work, man.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, even in the springtime, sometimes you're working 7 days a week on recruiting visits and all this stuff too. You're trying to get your team ready to roll, and you got all this professional development stuff you want to do, and you got to break down your season and all the different ways that you can make your program better. So people think that you have so much time in the day, well, you really don't.
Right.
So what Huddle does for us is like it makes things accessible so that when you have time on the road, you're traveling, you're in an airport, you're on a bus, whatever it might be.
flip
You
it
can
on.
just flip on the.
yeah.
You have Wi-Fi, you're good to go. And they
Yeah.
give these fancy iPads now that are cellular, so you're watching film anywhere you go.
I mean, we watch film every single time you're down here.
Every time, man. Just flip it on real quick, and it's, they can organize it quicker, and they can find ways to get you the information that you need. And now where you get access to full game film. And as a quarterback coach, I want to see the nitty gritty, man.
We'll kind of go through that real quick. So I'm sure you get tens of thousands of people, quarterbacks that are sending you their stuff. What do you watch? The first 30 seconds, and then if you like it, maybe you'll watch another 30 seconds or you put on a game. Like, kind of just talk about the recruiting aspect of, being a quarterback coach at a D1 school.
Yeah. I think everyone handles their process different. I've learned a lot from Coach Cardi and kind of put my own twist on the way I do it. I think for my process at least, and I can't speak for everyone, but I really do like to start by watching everything that they'll put out there. Now,
on social media or
on social media in general. And most of the time that includes their huddle as well as Twitter videos of them throwing with the quarterback coach. Like, some of that stuff is more valuable for us than you'll really, realize, because I want to see what a kid looks like biomechanically too.
Right.
How does he throw? How does it come off his hand? What am I working with? What am I going to have to train when he gets to me?
Gotcha.
If I can't see him throw in person, then that's going to be a big resource for me. And if I can't get that information, then I'll make sure I dive into that. But I will watch the first 45 seconds of a film, and that's usually where I either say, no, sir, not a Division I player, or I got to watch everything about this kid.
Right.
And by the time you get to the last 10 players that you're really recruiting, I've watched these huddles 10 times.
Right.
I know everything on there. I know all the throws, what they do good, what they do bad. But I don't know if that's always enough. And the way I break it down in my head is, say a kid has 300 attempts on the year. If he has 300 attempts on a year and he has 50 plays on his highlight, you can put a really good highlight film together with 50.
Right.
But say the kid only had 115 attempts in the year and still has 50 clips on there. That's impressive, man.
That's a different
deal.
100%.
Efficiency per attempt is really something that's going to stand out to me. So when I'm diving into it, I'm like, I want to see what it looks like all the time. If all they do is throw the ball, you better have a 5-minute highlight.
I would fucking hope so.
You better, you know what I mean? And what are you doing against the best teams?
Right.
You might beat the teams across the town that have 37 kids on the roster and their middle linebackers playing at 180 pounds. Not that impressive to me.
Right.
But are you showing up and playing against the four-star kids and playing in a big game and winning in overtime or driving down the field in a 2-minute? That's the guy I want to talk to.
Right. And I feel like it's a lost art, man. I tell these kids all the time, Memphis included, it's like, post everything on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
These guys aren't watching your fucking Instagram stories.
Mm-hmm.
They're not looking at your stupid ass Snapchat of you and your forehead.
Post it.
Post it on Twitter of you working out. That you're throwing a fucking Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
You're throwing a George Pickens.
Yeah.
You're throwing these NFL guys that you have access to. A lot of guys don't have that access.
Right. Yeah.
Post it. Tag him. He's gotten better at it, but then some of these guys are just like, nah, I don't like doing that. Okay, well, guess what? You're not going to like doing. You're not going to like playing on Saturdays either.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You're just not going to like getting recruited at all because no one's going to talk to you.
Right. Right. It's very simple.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's equated to Snapchat. You're on Snapchat because you're trying to talk to girls.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
right.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're posting on that. You care about the girls more than you care about playing college football.
Yeah.
That's all I need to know.
Right.
That's all I need to know.
Are you also looking for some kind of drama that they may be posting? Maybe they're not media trained yet, and maybe they're talking shit. I mean, is that something that could influence the fact whether they're recruited or not?
100%. And I think that's the cool thing about being Division I now and having some support is you do have people that look into that a little bit more. Like we have sports media people that kind of look into their background and see what they're posting, and it could affect them.
It affected me.
Yeah, that was beautiful, man.
Wait,
that was
what?
beautiful. Well, so we got a chance to work together last summer. We worked at a quarterback academy up in Delaware, which was actually pretty awesome.
Awesome.
We had
You
NFL.
put it on, man. It was awesome.
It was better than we would have thought for the first year through. We, ended up having some NFL guys come back. Joe Flacco came back. Rich Gannon came back. He was able to show up and kind of work the camp. And we had, a great day. I mean, we had 75 top players in the area. We actually ended up having 8 kids land Division I from the camp.
No shit.
Not all scholarship, but even walk-on
PWOs,
spots and
yeah.
whatnot. And the 2026 class has over 40 offers combined from the kids that showed up.
That's
so we ended up having a full day. But either way, so we got to a point where we were going to promote the guys that were showing up. We're throwing out all this stuff. Joe Flacco will be there. Rich Gannon will be there. We're trying to put one together for Steven to say, hey, Steven Garcia and his background, this, all touted, SEC player that beat Alabama, Clemson, all this stuff. We were going to put out a graphic and made the graphic, and our sports media team was finally just like, the people I was talking to were like, hey, man, have you seen what he's been posting on his Twitter?
Oh, okay. I got you.
Have you seen the things that he's been putting out there? Like, you sure you want to promote this? Like, you think that's a good look for us right now? Like, first time through? And I'm like, we talked about it.
It's funny. I mean,
Damn, you got canceled, bro.
No, I didn't. I still went to the camp, but I texted Sean. I was like, hey, man, what's up with that graphic? He's like, yeah, man, the graphic's a no-go.
On it. Yeah, I was like, ooh, man, I don't know how to break this one down.
We were advised not to.
Yeah.
But, I'm not working for anybody.
Yeah.
For sure.
If I was, I'd probably be a little bit more careful on what I'm posting, but.
From a position of.
Fuck you.
That's right.
We were talking about
that's the motto.
No, we were talking about the
Mark Wahlberg
the Mark
movie?
Wahlberg with John Goodman.
Yeah, John Goodman. Yeah,
and he's like, you got to do everything from a position of fuck you.
Yeah, it's something to that.
You get a 30-year roof over your head. Yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah.
$2 million in the bank, collect interest. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Anybody boss tells you to work overtime. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you've seen that clip on every social media.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
It is.
I forget what it's called.
But that's a great clip. But yeah, I mean, that was such a hell of a camp. I know I even fucked up the first drill. Yeah. So Sean's over there, he's going 800 miles an hour. You can tell he's an amped up guy.
Oh yeah, I can tell.
If I was playing for him, I'd run through a fucking brick wall for him, 100%. He gives a shit about it. You can tell he gives a fuck about this position, about football, about young men that want to live life and be successful. Yep. So we're going to start this camp, and I fucked up and I stapled the schedule, and I didn't know that it was like organized, so I just kind of stapled whatever. So I'm over there, I'm putting these guys through these bag drills and stuff, and all of a sudden I hear, Garcia, what the fuck, man? You're supposed to be doing that the next segment. I'm like, what's this? You haven't. I was like, God, just
like
start
you're on
up.
the wrong page, and I just see him flipping through like, yep, I'm on the wrong page.
But it was great, man. We still got a lot of work in, and it was awesome. I had Memphis up there, and got a chance to meet with your guys that are playing for you, and they have nothing but positive things, and they love you, man. And it's an admirable thing for a player to love a coach. You don't see it very often, man. I sure didn't love Spurrier when I was playing for him.
Yeah, I think it's a different day and age.
It's a whole different day and age.
I think that's something definitely worth talking about. They've changed college football in so many different ways, in so many good ways.
NIL,
too.
transfer portal
stuff too. But like I even, I want to put this out there. I think the kids in general are just different. I think, the hard-nosed, gritty football.
How many guys sat in that chair and said the exact same thing that he's saying right now?
Desmond said it.
Desmond, Lex,
yeah.
Luka just said it. I mean, go ahead.
I mean, I just think it's changed, and I think the problem becomes back from the social media thing again. Kind of circling back on what we talked about before is like these kids are looking at this stuff on social media and automatically connecting the dots, saying that should be me. Right. I earn this. Right. My parents are telling me that I'm that.
Right.
My uncles tell me that I'm that. My friends are telling me that I'm that. So that's what I deserve. But forgetting the fact that those people that you're looking at put so many endless hours into their craft to get there, even more challenging so than now because there was no media, there was no resources as much for some of these NFL guys that they're looking at. Like,
no doubt.
They were doing it because they had to, because they loved it, they were obsessed with it. These kids are doing it now because they're looking at, well, that's what Pat Mahomes does.
Cloud.
That's what I should do.
Cloud or, I 100% agree.
And they're looking at it through a different lens, and it's like, man, like, you haven't really earned that completely.
Right.
Now, then I think, I say this all the time in recruiting, I say this to my players, I say this to everyone, parents I talk to, the baseline for hard work is elevated now more than ever. Right?
No doubt.
Like, you can't just show up and be a really good athlete because now kids are training specific programs and stuff from 10 years old on. They're going to these quarterback trainers, right? Whether it's baseball, swing coaches, pitching coaches. These guys are doing it at a higher level because they know that now everyone else that's working is putting it out there too.
And we're gonna come back to that because that's a damn good That's a damn good point. We'll be right back on another segment of Sports and Suits. We got my dog,
Yeah, buddy.
Coach Goldie.
Yes, sir.
Coach Goldie.
Yes.
Like, comment, subscribe, share, notifications, put it on alert. We'll see you back in a minute. Welcome back, folks. Back to it, man. So we were kind of talking about the transfer portal, NIL, kind of that situation.
Yeah.
You know, what's your as a being on the other side of things? Let's start off first with, as a player, what would you like how it was before, or would you like how it is now?
Yeah, well, I'm glad we're kind of circling back on that. That connects to the whole media thing. I think the problem is I probably would have been a victim as well because I was in the social media stuff. As it kind of came out, I adjusted to it. But like once these kids see greener pastures elsewhere and they see the kid that pops in the portal and ends up landing at a P4 school, and ends up getting the fat NIL contract, it keeps it real for them. Now, is it real? Definitely not.
No.
We're talking about the 1% of the elite players that go in there
100%.
that are obviously built for it.
But then you got the Nico Amaliva or whatever his name is. He was making $2 million at Tennessee, wanted $4 million, got $1.5 million at UCLA, paying California taxes.
Yeah,
the grass is not always greener on the other side.
Not always greener, and I think to that point, that was a great thing for college football. Now, I have nothing against that kid. I have nothing against him as a person, player, whatever. I thought he was a good player, and honestly, I thought he probably, if you're going to start paying these guys that much money at quarterback at that level, he probably proved enough to deserve that at Tennessee. Now, the thing is what we worry about as coaches. Now, that could obviously be argued. We could circle back on that too. And I'm sure a lot of people go, hell no.
I didn't watch enough Tennessee games, but I can, just judging from what Tennessee Twitter has to say.
Yeah.
They do not agree.
They do not agree. Yeah,
but I think they're kind of scoring on that deal. But
yeah, for those viewers out there that are Tennessee people, I think when you compare some of the NIL contracts that are going out to quarterbacks, what's relative, right? And that's what you kind of got to look at. You got the guy from Michigan that's getting that much money and stuff too.
Never played a college snap.
To me, ridiculous. I think you gotta prove your value, and then obviously you should get what you're worth. And I think that's kind of coming back to the full throttle. The full purpose of this conversation.
But you're right, though. I think that might have been the best thing for the whole college football.
Yeah.
The grass ain't always greener. You ask for 4, guess what? You're going to get less than half of that.
That's it. And what we deal with consistently is like, you always worry about the kids having the power, right? Like at the end of the day, coaches used to have the authority, man. We're calling the shots. You got to trust us. We're building this thing around you. We're building scheme. We're building a program, a culture that you got to believe in now. These kids are way easy. It's way easier for these kids to flip a switch and be like, you know what? I'm not buying into that, because they feel like they're entitled to something.
So how do you build a culture around that?
Well, I think it's harder at some places than others, right? If you're a full transfer portal team and all you're doing is taking in portal guys, how are you going to expect these guys that are on your roster for 6 months or a year, or whatever, 2 years even, to really buy into what we're doing? Now, you'll hit and you'll get some guys that are just great people and great players and great athletes. But are you going to do that consistently?
No, you're not going to get it consistently.
If this kid transferred 3 times and then comes to you, you think he's that loyal to you?
But I'll tell you this much, and I think it's a double-edged sword, like anything else in life. I think John Calipari at University of Kentucky, he was very upfront about it. He said, "I'm recruiting you for 1 year. You're going to go to the NBA after the first year." Mm-hmm. And he was like, "This is a one and done. This is a one and done program." Mm-hmm. They didn't win the national championship, but they had nothing but McDonald's All-Americans that played 1 year, went to the NBA.
Right.
That pissed a lot of Kentucky fans off. I'm a Kentucky basketball fan. Yeah. My mom's side of the family all from Kentucky, and it pissed a lot of people off. Because they care about winning. They don't give a shit that so and so is gonna who's the unibrow guy? He's coming to Kentucky for one year and then leaving. Right. So it's a double-edged sword. It is. But yeah, kind of it's how do you build a culture? You can't. You just can't. You got different faces coming in every other year.
Well, at this point, it's kind of done with culture, right? That's not going to happen from here on out unless the NIL gets regulated by some form or fashion.
Yeah. That and the transfer portal, though. But
the transfer portal, yeah.
But you guys are building a culture.
Yeah. Well,
you and Coach Cardi.
So I think the part of that that's very unique is some schools obviously are just going straight portal, right? And I think that when we're recruiting now, you see all these high school coaches getting mad like we're not taking people. And that's always just because our job's on the line. If we don't take people and win now, someone else is going to fill my seat next year.
Right.
So that's a decision that you got to make. Hey, we don't want to mess up in recruiting all the time. But in terms of taking guys out of the portal, if you just live there, it's really hard to build a culture because these kids are still adjusting.
Right.
Like a second year in a system, you're going to be better than the first year. Your third year better than the second, and so on and so forth. But where you really have to try to do a good job, at least in our opinion, and everyone thinks different, is you got to still take high school players that you can develop for hopefully 4 years.
Right.
And those guys are part of your culture that take the transfers under the wing and show them how it's done for the time being.
Right.
Now, the biggest issue that we face is you get a kid that's great as a freshman or sophomore at our level, he's gone. Because these restrictions for these agents to reach out to players are not there. They can call a kid in the middle of the season, and it's happened.
It does happen.
And say, hey, man, you're worth this much money in the portal. When it opens, pop in. I got you. You'll be my guy. I'll take care of you. These places are saying you're worth this much money. We can't do anything about that. That's the thing that college football has to fix.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is the group of 5 schools like us now, the FCS schools, even the D2s, are just going to be feeder schools to the next level. And it's exactly where it's heading. The best players go up. And the players that don't play at the next level, they send to us. The guys that don't play as a freshman, as a sophomore. But those guys aren't ready to play. The guys we send up are ready to play.
Yeah.
They have game film, right? Maybe 3, they might be a special teams guy and a side of the ball.
And they've been through a college workout. They've been through a college schedule, so they know. High school kids, it's a whole different deal.
Whole different
deal.
Yeah.
And it sucks, and I feel like it sucks for the high school kids. I think COVID fucked up a lot of shit, especially for the high school kids.
Sure
I think
did.
the portal
Yeah.
fucked up a lot of things. And, the NIL, to your point, is they're seeing all these guys flashing around, all this stuff. It's like, that guy's 1% of a 1%.
Right.
It's not like it came from luck. I mean, he got busted his ass.
Right.
So I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like I say the same thing every single time we talk about NIL and portal.
Yeah.
It just... From a coach's perspective,
your opinion is not going to change.
It's never going to change until they fix it. It's got to be reined in a little bit.
And talking about that, when you're recruiting quarterbacks, what exactly specifically are you looking for? I know we were talking about this on air, but can you share it with the audience?
Yeah. So, everything is going to go based off what you're looking for your system. And not to say you should always balance out your room, but you should have a good idea of what you're looking for. Right? If you're trying to build a receiver room, you shouldn't take nothing but outside guys. You got to have some dynamic inside guys that can move and run jet sweeps and whatnot. And the same thing at quarterback. It's like, what do you guys do at the highest level that your play caller, when the chips are down, is going to call? Is he going to have to be a great drop back passer? Is he going to have to be a great runner, right? Are we going to do a lot of things in the 12 personnel, big package where you got to get downhill? Is he going to have to be a triple threat that kind of does a little bit of everything? Or is he have to be a game manager at some level, like we're be able to grade at the line of scrimmage and those type of things? So you always really look for those things. In our system, I think the things that have been the most productive since I played for Coach Cardi and now I've seen it kind of project as a coach, the dynamic players are the best ones out there. The guys that can pick up 10 yards on an inside zone when they pull it off of an end. The guys that can scramble outside the pocket, extend it for 4+ seconds, and then find someone downfield to create an explosive play. And that's what we're trying to find. The guys that can do it really well in the pocket, but when things break down, they're still super dynamic, and mobile. And it's really hard at our level to find the guy that's really big and still really mobile. We're not getting those guys. So at some point, we got to give on that. We got to give on the size. We got to give on the speed, the weight, or something along the lines that's going to make him come to us. But in terms of what we're looking for, in my opinion, I always think it should come down to game film, right? Highlights are highlights for a reason. Right? These kids are putting out what they want you to see. I want to see what you don't want me to see. I want to see what's going on when things are stressful for you. What do you do after you threw a pick? What do you do in the 2-minute situation, right? What are you doing on the sideline? Like if I'm going to a game to watch a kid, how do you carry yourself on the sideline?
I'm so glad you're saying this, Sean. I think if you're a high school fucking quarterback anywhere in the country, if you don't watch this episode, you're a dipshit. we got a freaking guy that went through playing college football, is now coaching college football, giving you the fucking recipe.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, man, kids are so distracted by every fucking thing else.
Yeah.
And if you want to do it, you can't dip your toe in.
For sure.
You better dunk yourself in there and submerge yourself down there, because it is a full-time operation.
Yeah.
Because there's other guys that, may have more talent to you that, they can get away with putting one foot in.
Right.
Those guys don't last very long.
Yeah.
You have got to buy the fuck in.
Buy it.
I just want to go on a little ramble there, but I'm so glad you're saying this shit, man. And I'm telling you, high school quarterbacks, watch this fucking episode.
Yeah, this is real stuff, and we see it every day. And to kind of finish up your question, I think one of the things that's most important, I think in everything in life, right, is the confidence piece. Like I want to see how a kid carries himself. And you can see that through your interactions, right? Whether you go to their house, see how they handle things with their family, how they are with their coaches, how they are with their teammates, those type of things. Because confidence, I think, is just the biggest thing that's going to allow you to create some consistency and know what you're going to get out of a kid, right?
Is it kind of like Moneyball, where if they got an ugly girlfriend, no confidence, so we can't... You know what movie I'm talking about. No. He's got no confidence. He's got an ugly girlfriend. Does that even factor in, or if you can answer that question,
I haven't been in that situation yet. Like she walks in, she looks like a bit of a troll, and you're like, well, are you the dude?
That's a bad deal.
I don't know. I haven't been there yet, so maybe we'll do another podcast and get that. We'll figure that one out when we get there.
Holy shit. But no, I think you're right. I think confidence it's infectious. I feel like, especially this position is 90% mental for the most part. Like if you have no confidence, you're fucked.
Right.
You're absolutely fucked. You don't have the confidence to throw a 10-yard out versus cover one.
Yeah.
You can't get that ball outside to where only a receiver catches it. You don't feel like you can make that throw.
Yeah.
Go over there.
Yeah. Next
guy up. Yeah. And that's another thing, man. Talking with these kids, it's like, and you've seen it. You've seen how I operate with these guys. Mm-hmm. You make a shitty ball, go get it. Yeah. You throw a shitty ball, go get it. Take your sweet ass time.
Own it,
because you ain't getting another rep. Take your sweet time. You want to walk back? Walk back. That's fine. Yeah. If I'm that kid, and I throw a shitty ball, I'm sprinting. Let me get another shot. Let me get another shot. I want to redo that one.
Yeah.
But some of these kids, man, I don't know if it's entitlement or if it's just they want to be too cool. I really don't know,
bro.
Yeah. I just don't know, and it pisses me off to no end, and I'm not afraid to let it ride. I feel like these parents kind of consider me like an older brother, kind of father figure sometimes for these guys, because a lot of these kids, they don't hear that shit at home.
Yeah.
And you've heard Sean talk for a minute. He lets it ride.
Yeah.
He's not gonna hold your hand through this entire process. It's like, when you get here, we are fucking working. We are getting after it.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I'm just kind of spitballing things and just trying to piggyback off what your message is.
Yeah. You bring up an unbelievable point, and I think we see that even with our players now too. Like, obviously, we're loading up the room now with Division I talent. These guys are on full scholarship, making money, all that stuff too. You shouldn't have to beg them to be what you want them to be. Like, to be obsessed with it, especially a quarterback. Now, I can't speak for every position. Some guys might be able to turn it on at corner because they're just long and athletic and freaky and all that stuff too. But at quarterback, there's so much more mentally that goes into it. Like, you have to be obsessed with it if you want to get the most out of it.
Right.
Can you show up and throw a couple touchdowns and be pretty good on Saturdays if you're just a good athlete? Sure. Are you going to be consistently the best player on the field if you're not owning what's going on in the classroom side of it?
100%.
No shot. And we
100%
see that
agreed.
over and over and over. And I think what it comes down to, and this is my take on it, is these kids have so many other things that are pulling them that are exciting in life.
Distractions, yeah.
Right. Whether it's you're on a campus.
Oh, shiny bell. Oh, shiny this. Oh, new girl here. Right. Oh, look at that.
Exactly, man. I mean,
do you see Patrick Mahomes' new wife or wife's new tits? Like what? Who gives a fuck?
So much to.
Who cares?
Yeah. And to them, that's just as exciting as playing football, which is a damn shame because when it's over, you realize it doesn't get better than this. You know, like everyone gets a chance to go party in college. No one cares about those stories 15 years from now. No one's going to be like, hey, man, what'd you do at your frat party, bro? They're going to be like, hey, what'd you do when you played against Wake Forest?
Right.
Oh, I saw you play in that game. Well, hey, man, I saw you beat Alabama. How many people still talk to you about that shit?
That was 15 fucking years ago.
They still love it.
And
dude.
they still talk about it. People still post about it on Twitter. It's like, God damn, man, enough.
No, it's never enough.
You're making me feel old as fucking balls now.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. But that's, to your point, man, that's what people care about. If you are not completely submerged in playing this position, the team feels that.
Yeah.
The coaches feel that. The fans feel that. And, with all my off the field shit, I got voted team captain 3 years in a row, not by coaches, from the fucking teammates.
Yeah.
Because I was the first person in the weight room, first person in the film room, last person to leave.
Yeah.
But I was also the first person at Village Idiot, first person at Rocco's, last person to leave those places too. Because, and I tell Sean this story all the time. Like, I didn't want to drink with Coach Spurrier. I had to fucking drink. I had to flush that shit out. His little comments, I had to flush it out. But I mean, it's. I'm so glad that you are hitting these points, man, and that's why I wanted to get you on here, so these kids can have a chance to kind of hear your perspective from being a player to now being on the coaches and staff. And I kind of want to talk about not as much Delaware anymore, but your kind of journey from NFL camps to now.
Yeah. Well, so the whole thing kind of ended. I got out of the camp, so I was still kind of staying fresh and ready to roll. And I knew I wanted to keep playing because I had a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. I think that's one of the things that drives me as a coach now too. Is like you always feel like you left something out there.
Right.
And the next best thing is be able to pass that information on to someone that's got a full career ahead of them and be able to make them just a little bit sharper for what comes next. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of people looking after me and help me, but I just felt like I could have played at the next level with the right situation. And that's the thing that everyone as a competitor is always going to want back. So I ended up getting to coaching, and it took me a little bit to get there, man. I was doing some strength and conditioning stuff back home. I ended up coaching actually high school ball for a year and then missed it so much that I played arena ball for 2 seasons. I went out west and I went to Colorado and went to Arizona for a second.
When you told me that, I was like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, man, that football is just completely different. There's a lot you don't get out of it, but there were some great relationships I did get out of it.
Yes.
And
the relationships that's football in general, though. Yeah.
It's everything. Because that was another way for me to see how important football is to most people that are in it. You know? I still got guys that I played arena football with years ago now that are playing overseas and whatnot. And, they just can't let it go. And I think the way I got into coaching was, I had some opportunities. I could have gotten into real estate. I could have helped my family out. I could have got back into strength and conditioning stuff. But like a piece of me always wanted to kind of finish what I started and be involved in the next best thing and that competitive environment. Because coaching, what people don't realize is it is a grind. They're gonna wear your ass out, man. I mean, you're working 7 days a week. A ridiculous amount of hours every day. It's nonstop. And we go.
We talk all the time, and trust me, I hear you.
It's an operation now. You gotta be ready for it. But there are some really rewarding things to being a coach. You still get a little bit of that adrenaline from game day, and you still 100%. Get to see kids succeed. You get to spend time with their families, and there's some really good things that come of it. That people don't realize that you get out of coaching, the relationship side of it, who people are going to say they're going to hide behind now. And coming back to the transfer portal thing, I think one of the big words that's going on around in college football now is everything's transactional. Saying, hey, man, like there's no relationship between me and you. I'm paying you now, so you better show up and play.
Yep.
But I'm going to call bullshit on that to a certain extent because I was just I got a chance to go watch some NFL teams practice and be around those guys, and those guys are making millions of dollars, and the coaches are still interacting with them, loving them up, putting their arm around them, joking with them, having a good time. You can be transactional in terms of the business side of it.
But that's also grown men that are...
Maybe right.
Not 18-year-old kids that are, like you said, oh, so-and-so got this much, I should deserve this much, and, so-and-so is doing this. I feel like
maybe
18-year-olds are a hell of a lot more impressionable, as compared to a guy that's been through the system that's now like, dude, this is my job.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a good argument for sure, and I will support that because I haven't been around enough locker rooms to know this is what everyone's like. But I do know that obviously we're taking care of athletes now too, to a degree that we're allowed to, and these kids still knock on my door and talk to me about what's going on in their life, man, and they still want that relationship piece to tell me what's going on with their girlfriend, what's going on.
And you make yourself accessible, and that's why I think, and I tell you this, not to glaze you, as the kids say, but I feel like this is the freaking tip of the iceberg, man. You got a long way to go.
Yeah, and talking about
you're gonna take this sumbitch far.
Talking about a long way to go and tip of the iceberg, ultimately is your goal to coach in the NFL.
Yeah. I think it's.
And where would you want to land specifically, if you want to say?
That's a really good question. I think the answer for me to that is I want to land with good people. Because I think what I've learned about the NFL, what I've learned about college football is if you're with the right staff, it changes everything. If you're with the wrong staff, you'll want out fast. So, I'm just hoping I get with the right people that are going to take me with them and be able to mold me and believe in me and, all that kind of stuff. I think that's it, right? I'm at a good spot where I actually am in a locker room with a bunch of coaches that I appreciate, and I think that changes it. There's some tough head coaches that that might run you out of this profession if you get with the wrong people. So you would put me in Tampa. I'm not going to fight off a nice little, Tampa environment.
Warm weather.
Come on.
Yeah, right.
I mean, you don't want to be in Cleveland. You're not saying that. I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that wants to be in Cleveland.
Joe Kim Noah said it best. You know anybody that's ever vacationed in Cleveland?
Usually they're passing through like, hey, that's Cleveland. We got to keep it moving though.
Yeah.
But is it to be head coach, or is it to be an offensive coordinator, or to be a quarterback's coach in the NFL?
I
Or
think
all three?
All three, really. And I think as a coach, you got to be able to adapt and you got to be able to roll with the
100%.
punches. And, if you're going to drop a picture perfect world, everyone wants to be a head coach of their own franchise and go win a Super Bowl or go win a national championship. But, to be honest, there's really good coaches that never even elevate from the Division III level.
Right.
There's really good coaches, Division II, Division I, that don't get opportunities because of the situation. There's so much that goes into it. If you have a really good receiver coach, but you don't got a good quarterback, that's not going to make your receivers look good.
Right.
If you have a really good offense, but your defense lets up 70 points a game, how are you going to be the offensive coordinator of the year because you guys won 4 games?
Dude, it's the ultimate team sport. Ultimate team sport.
Yeah.
It takes, what I don't know. God only knows how many coaches are on the staff now. 20 coaches.
There's
20 coaches. You got 11 guys
the
on the field
and all that. Yeah.
I mean, it takes everybody being on the same page,
Mm-hmm.
being fluid. When shit goes down, they have a plan. They have another plan after that.
Right.
It takes a freaking army.
It does. And a lot's got to go well to elevate, and what I'm realizing as I'm getting deeper in this profession is you don't necessarily have to be the best coach, but you got to have people that really like you. And those people will call you and give you opportunities. And I think that there's a fine line. I think the college level, there's either really good X and O people. There's really good recruiters that are not good at X and O's. And obviously the vice versa. You can be a really good X and O guy without being a good recruiter. And then you got the people that are both. Really good X and O guys and really good recruiters. And those people are a premium now because that's what it takes.
The Kirby Smarts, the Dabo Sweeneys, Dan Lannings. I mean, this. And I don't want to throw any shade because I love this guy to death. And, we've gotten bombed together. Coach Muschamp, man. You want to talk about somebody that would run coaches out of the freaking office?
Yeah.
And it's whatever. I don't care if he sees it or not. He knows it. He's not a head coach anymore.
Yeah.
For a reason, because he ran it like it was a military.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you're not leaving the office till I leave the office. I need this done on this time, right at this, on this date.
Yeah.
And I would not ever want to fucking do that.
Yeah.
If I'm a coach, and I'm an assistant coach, I'm the quarterback coach, I'm a GM, whatever. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You press your thumb down too much, I'm going to figure out a way to sneak the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
So there's different kind of coaching personalities, and I just don't see that personality works well in the college ranks, especially.
Would you say Bill Belichick? Well, I know Bill Belichick wasn't in the college ranks, but
he is now.
Mean,
he's also marrying some
24-year-old.
Yeah. So his priorities have
shifted.
Mildly.
But he kind of treated coaching militarily, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was many moons ago.
Yeah. Well,
and that was professional. Professional athletes take it a little bit differently.
But I mean, you can kind of call college players now professionals. They are getting paid to play.
Mm-hmm.
So they're no longer amateurs here.
True. What?
Right?
Yeah. I mean, there definitely is that side of it. And in some ways, a little bit different. Some of these SEC and ACC kids, you're talking about what's the difference now? These kids are on 1 year, $1,100,000 contracts.
I mean, Quinn Ewers took a pay cut to enter the NFL draft.
Right.
His NIL valuation was like $6 to $8 million.
It's been insane.
And now he got drafted, 5th or 6th round, 7th, whatever it may be.
He could almost win anywhere. It is insane. So there is that part of it that is starting to shift. I hope they find a way to bottleneck it a little bit.
They have to, dude. It's ruining it, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think that, you hope that the transfer portal, people start to look in the numbers of kids that go in that actually don't find homes or they downgrade, and we actually
stuck in purgatory. It's a bad fucking place.
Where's those stats? People need to bring that to light so these kids aren't just immediately jumping ship and saying, oh, there's greener pastures out there. A lot of times these kids are stepping back.
Yeah.
And they're going somewhere and they got to recompete. They got to relearn a system. They're not thinking about that. And even more so, this is something I got to bring up for the viewers and for especially the young players out there. These kids aren't realizing that you're ruining your degree. you're ruining. Like, you're getting these kids are playing for 3 years at a university and getting so close to graduating at that university, and then transferring and losing all those credits.
All the credits, yep.
And then they're stuck with no degree, no NFL opportunity.
Desmond said
no money.
that. Yeah. Desmond said that the other day.
Yeah.
He was at Virginia Tech, transferred to Rhode Island.
They didn't take any of his credits.
They didn't have his major, so they took nothing. Yeah. So he has no college degree.
It's insane, and you need that. Like,
what's the point of? The point of going to college if you're a college football player is to make it to the NFL.
Right.
But why not get your degree?
Yeah.
They can't take that away from you.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a quick little break, and then we're going to come back, finish this thing up, and then we're going on the boat, folks.
Hell yeah.
So don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button. We're on all the social media deals. Follow at Sean Goldrich.
Coach Goldrich.
Coach Gold. Golly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big time now.
Yep. Follow the Blue Hens. We'll be back. But anyways, we're back talking about playing the game. Welcome back, Sports and Suits. Coach Goldie, as they call him up there in Delaware.
Yes, sir. Blue Hen country.
Playing golf up there, they kept calling you Goldie. I'm like, who the fuck is Goldie?
You play golf?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How's golf in Delaware?
And honestly, not terrible, man. Yeah. There's a couple spots right next to campus.
What's your handicap?
Probably like 12, 13.
Shit.
Oh, okay. So you're not bad.
It's way better than that.
No.
What's your lowest score then?
Man, I think all time like a 76.
Psh, bro, you're better than a 10 or a 12.
Yeah,
man. Get out of
he
here.
100%.
I mean, we're talking that's a one-off there.
No.
Yeah.
All right, second best
late
score
in the season, you know.
He's locked in.
I've hit a couple 70s, you know, like high 70s, but usually I'm in that 85 range.
Did you bring it? Did you bring in those golf balls?
No, I didn't.
Damn it!
I know.
What about who's your favorite golfer?
Oh,
that is currently active, not Tiger Woods.
Yeah, no, it's tough. Scotty Scheffler, I mean, is everyone's favorite. But the only reason I'm going to stand on the table for this is my dad grew up with his dad.
No shit.
Yeah, so my dad has just been biggest fan of him. And
no shit. That's
so then, have you met Scotty?
No, I have not. No, I'm not that close with him for sure. But my dad was talking about him before he became big time. Was like, hey man, you know, I got a close family friend that's a big time golfer and all this stuff too. And then as he started taking off, my dad was like, dude, like
that is
guy's
sick.
the man. Yeah, so.
He's done well for himself.
Yeah, he's done okay.
I mean, just won the PGA Championship, dude. So.
Ran away with it.
And then
ran away from it.
And before that, the Byron Nelson, the week before.
Yeah, he's impressive.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so we're back. We're back at it. We're back at it. So, yeah, we were kind of going about, you know, obviously we're going to take the boat out after this, but, you know, kind of transition like, what is you obviously want to coach in the NFL. What else you want to accomplish kind of in life, you know, just kind of go through like, this is more of the life segment type deal.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good question. You know, I think there's something like weirdly addicting about coaching football that I don't understand fully yet. And what I mean by that is like, I always wonder why these guys get fired after these multi-million-dollar contracts when they don't clearly need the money and they still chase another job, right? These guys don't ever get away from football. I mean, they'll coach until their 70s. You know, you're seeing a couple guys step away. Obviously, you got the big names and stuff too, but even Saban was on the back end of it, you know? And I think there's something about being a competitor in this business that you just can't let go of, right? If you got fired, it's because you weren't good enough. And the same reason I was talking to you guys about, you know, me having something left on the table for the NFL experience, I think that same thing lives in football.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see where that takes me in this, you know, how obsessed and how far I want to go down the rabbit hole. You know, I've been fortunate to have a pretty easy career to this point, but it's not realistic in coaching. You know, you're going to have to take steps back before you move forward.
100%.
You know, I'm excited to see what that brings, you know, and I think for me, you know, the biggest thing is I always want to be able to, you know, elevate my experiences in life. I want to be able to do different things. Like, and I think whatever I do, which you know, right now I'm all in on football, is there's something about being able to travel to new stadiums, be able to recruit different players, be able to go all parts of the country, you know, be able to have a different season, all those kind of different tasks. And the things that you work for as a young coach are still ahead of me, like offensive coordinator and being able to, you know, be a head coach and whatever it might be. So I'm excited to see what that part of it brings. But the most important thing for me right now is to make sure that I am allowing the kids that I bring in to have exposure and the capabilities to be able to make it to the next level.
Right.
You put so much into this sport. If you don't really want to get what's out of it next, I don't know all the time if it makes complete sense.
Right,
Now,
right.
you can go be an All-American, All-Conference player, and I agree that that is a great accomplishment too. But those guys usually are never done. They want a little bit more out of the game, so I'm hoping I can bridge the gap between our players wanting more out of it.
And I feel like you do a damn good job. I mean, kind of, I don't know if you want to talk about it. The guy that just had his, bell rung a few times and did the medical retirement deal. And
Yeah.
you don't have to if you don't want to. It's, that I feel like that's an interesting story. I mean, he's coaching now with you, or?
Well, actually, I am glad you brought this up. So we, this is really an awesome segue. This just happened yesterday for the kid, but one of our players, was really, I'm not going to drop his name for to keep him off the
anonymous
mainstream here.
Yeah.
But he stepped away from football, and he was a great kid, great player, and immediately wanted to stay around the game. And he moved in, and we got him a desk in my office, and
no shit.
he was sitting there grinding with me. We went through this whole quarterback evaluation thing this off season, and he was there every step of the way, reaching out to kids, diving into film, finding out things about them that we needed to know to make the evaluation. So he did an unbelievable job. And what he wanted to do was get in the NFL office type stuff, the player personnel, the evaluation, general manager type thing. So we started reaching out to some people and, got a couple interviews along the way. And then last week he called me and said, hey, man, I got an opportunity with the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to interview me and see if I can go get it. So we prepped him for
Holy
it,
shit.
did the best we could to get him ready. Told them what kind of questions they might ask and how you can kind of handle yourself. And he called me yesterday and said the Chiefs offered him an internship for the training camp at least.
That's fucking
to see
awesome.
Where it goes. So, I think that is one of the things I'm most proud of is like the kid decided to step away for all the right reasons. It really kind of backed himself into a corner, and his reasons were I don't want to do this to my teammates anymore and be kind of half in, half out.
Right.
But the minute it was over for him as a player, he wanted to be back in the office and around us, around me, around the guys. And, I think there's a testament to that. Some guys want to run away from their program. 100%. Some guys want to be around it as much as possible. And if you are building a good culture, that's a pretty awesome thing. So to see him come back, work with us for a short period of time, really just this spring, and then immediately to go get an opportunity in the NFL, I couldn't be more happy for the kid. I know he's going to kill it. And I hope they see the same value in him that I've seen because he's an awesome kid.
That is a hell of a story. Yeah. Holy shit.
Unbelievable.
Good for him, man. Because I know he was good to Memphis when he went up there, and I mean that's a hell of a story.
Right. Yeah.
Good for him, man. Yeah. Holy shit.
Unreal.
But it's amazing how that kind of, we were just talking with a current player now, but it's like, what is your thoughts? Do you think everything happens for a reason? Are you kind of what's your thought process on that?
Yeah. It's a good question too. I think you do control your own narrative in some ways. I do think things, people are always going to get challenged in football, and I think that they can kind of create different paths for themselves. I do think that at a certain point, there's going to be things that are going to be presented in your career that are going to be very beneficial for you one way or another. And at the time, these kids might not realize that.
Right.
Man, I got hurt. Like, you blow your knee out. Man, that seems like the worst thing ever. But there's going to be a piece of that journey that's going to make you more grateful for football.
Yeah.
So I do think there's always that side of it, right? I think competition, which I do want to touch on too, is
absolutely
some kids are going to look at competition as such an unfortunate thing. Man, I got this kid playing in front of me and he's doing so well. I'm never going to get my opportunity. And, all these things are building, around me that are going to, take opportunities out of my path. And I just think that is such a narrow-minded way to think.
No doubt.
It's football. There's going to be great players everywhere. There's going to be guys that want it just as bad as you. There's going to be guys that are more gifted than you. Are you taking those opportunities to find a way to do something a little bit different than everybody else? Or are you just going to lay back and say, you know what?
Bitch
hey,
and complain.
Yeah, this situation was not meant for me, and these coaches had it out for me and all that stuff too.
I'm going to hit the portal.
Yeah, I'm going to hit the portal. It's not a perfect fit. Like, coaches don't really have it out for kids unless you're a complete asshole. We want the best players on the field too, man. Like, we're here to win. Right. And if we're not making these decisions because it's personal at you. We got to answer to some people too.
Right.
Show up and do your work. You're the best player. Everyone will know it. If there's doubt, we're going to go with the guy that's proven it already.
100%.
So,
and that's we talked about it all the time. It's like competition is going to do one of two things. You're either going to rise to the occasion, or you're going to bitch and complain and go down a very unfortunate rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And you just got to find those guys. You got to. But I think what's unique about you, and I don't know many college coaches, but I know you on a very personal level. Kids want to come to you. They want to talk to you. They want to talk to you about, off the field, they got girlfriend problems. They got, great, whatever the case may be. They come to you and you make yourself accessible to where I don't feel like that is, especially after talking with guys that just graduated, just got done playing. I don't feel like their position coaches, their head coaches, their training staff, their, athletic director, whatever it may be. I don't feel like that's the case in a lot of programs.
Yeah. No, I think it's definitely not. And coming back to like where we started off with the podcast, I think that the game has changed so much now too, where kids do want to be able to have that connection where they can actually talk to you and listen, you can listen to them and you can make sure you put your arm around them when it's needed and be able to pick them up. And I think one of the biggest things about coaching, actually, this is kind of my philosophy on it all, is motivation is what we do. We're supposed to bring things out of you when you don't want to bring it out of yourself, right? And if I can't motivate you, I can't make you the best player.
Right.
And if you don't have a relationship with me and trust me and actually value what I'm saying, you're not going to listen to me if I'm saying the best things possible for you. So at some point, I got to be able to yell at you on the field, man, and tell you you're wrong.
Right.
I also have to walk off the field with you and tell you why I yelled.
Right. There's a why, right.
There's a why, and
I'm not ripping your ass just because I don't want to rip your ass, but
this is good for
I need
you.
to, yeah.
And I have to be able to be honest with you when you walk in my office and say, Coach, why am I not playing, man? And I got to say, hey, man, here's the stats. Here's the clips that I've seen that have separated you from everyone else in a negative way. Change this, and then we'll have this discussion again.
Yeah.
And I got to have that trust factor, because if I'm sitting there just bullshitting these kids, they're going to look right through me.
100%.
And then when they want to have that conversation again, they're going to avoid it.
Right.
And they're just going to transfer and settle their problems elsewhere. At least I can tell you, man, you're going to hear what you might not want to hear, but it's the truth.
And it's the best. It's the best thing for them. 100%.
And I don't know. There's a lot of manipulation in this thing now, too. There is, and some guys do it the right way. I can't speak for everybody. But I think that's gotten me to the point where I think we've been able to keep a really good room together and have a lot of guys play at a high level. And, I think at this point, it's always something you got to build on. And
when you talk about manipulation, what do you mean?
Well, I think
coaches saying one thing, but
don't really mean it.
Right.
And you definitely hear that through the profession. And obviously, not to call anyone out, but when you're talking to recruits and stuff, and you're in the portal and you're trying to find out information about kids, you're like, hey, man, what's the first thing you would want to ask them? What happened?
Right.
What's your story? Why are you here? Why are we on a call right now? What got you to say, I got to get out of this university? Because everyone, these kids transfer 3 or 4 times. Like, there's no way three universities were that bad.
Right. It's starting to become a you problem.
It's starting to become a you problem, man. Like, you got to look in the mirror. Now,
Yeah.
if you had 3 head coaching changes, good God, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's tough. Okay.
It's a bad break.
Man, no, you left one place just because you weren't playing. The second place you left because some other off-the-field issues. And the third place you left because you thought that coaches had it out for you. Okay, well, we're gonna end this conversation
Right.
here.
I mean, it's that one guy that sticks in my head, and I don't like kicking anybody, when they're down, but like TJ Finley,
Mm-hmm.
you know that name?
Yeah, it was Western Kentucky, and then or something.
Was it LSU, then Auburn, and then I think he's been in like 5 different colleges.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the ins and outs of it, but it's like, dude, I mean, at what point? I mean, if I'm an NFL team, it's like, dude, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah.
You could have all the talent in the world. Why are you at 5 or 6 different universities in a 5-year period?
Yeah, how does that match up? And we'll look into all that stuff.
Yeah, the numbers, the math ain't mathin'.
Math does not math in those cases, and you usually get to the bottom of it really quick. But these kids, back to your kind of question, the manipulation side of it is, some kids that I think there is. I want to go on record in saying this. There's some guys that do use the portal the right way. I'm not saying that you should be in there shopping around constantly, but if you have a really unfortunate circumstance and you want to transfer one time, okay.
Right.
If you have really good reason for it. Now, if a kid calls me, and this is where the manipulation side comes in, they're like, hey, man, well, the coach told me that I was going to be his guy. I was going to have a chance to compete as the 2. They were going to pay me this amount of money, and this was how the whole spring was going to go and the fall was going to go. And this is what they promised me. And all of a sudden, I got to the middle of the summer and none of that was promised to me.
Right.
What they promised didn't show up. Then, okay. They're probably because you weren't good enough, because they wouldn't just do that. But also, there are some guys telling these guys what they want to hear to have
get them
depth.
There. Right.
Hey, man, I want you here not as my starter, but I want you as my depth guy. And they'll frame it like, hey, you're going to compete with the starter. It's up to you. And never really have that opportunity. So
Right.
there are some guys doing that to protect their investment,
Yeah.
and I would see the other side of that too. But obviously there's more extreme cases than that too.
Absolutely. And it's like anything else. It's all a double-edged sword.
Right.
At least in my point of view, there's goods, they're bad, but your job as a coach, as a organization, is to find out what was the cause of all that.
Right.
So
Got to.
yeah.
Especially a quarterback. And we have that discussion all the time too, is like if you're bringing a QB into your program, even especially from a highly touted school, like maybe a 4 or 5 star kid, it didn't work out at that level, and he comes in,
Right.
and all of a sudden he's not the guy. What's that going to do to your locker room?
Right.
What's that going to do to your fan base when all of a sudden quarterback play isn't really good, and they're like, "Wait, we put the kid in that had the 4 stars," like he's the one, and those kind of things become an issue. So I think QB is maybe a little bit more delicate in some cases.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the star ranking. Is that part of the analytics for recruiting a kid is star rankings? Because I want to know who the fuck are the guys that are giving these kids stars.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean that's a whole nother animal.
When we were playing, it was, what was it, Rivals and
247.
247.
Yeah.
247 was before or after me. We just had Rivals. It was a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
Rivals gives you the ranking, how many stars you have, and that is it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have guys I see on Twitter all the time, 4-star ranked quarterback from QB hit list.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck is this guy? How
Yeah.
I'm not trying to, put words in your mouth or anything else, but like, do the star rankings mean a damn thing to you?
Mm-hmm. And then they don't to us. We could care less. Now it does to some people. Some people just go star hunting, and they just because what the stars do is it creates a ranking for your recruiting class.
Right. Yeah.
And recruiting class sometimes have bonuses behind them. I'm not sure every school does, but like in their mind, they brought in the best recruiting class, so that looks good publicity wise.
Right.
Now I'm not sure if that always is the case, but that's something that just doesn't match up. You'll have schools that'll be top 50 recruiting classes that won't win a bunch of games.
Right.
So what does that really mean?
Yeah.
Is it a fit for your program and how you really want to bring guys in? And but it's all subjective, right? Whoever's evaluating these guys is going to be like you're going to have an O-line guy, or maybe it's an outside linebacker that's going to evaluate quarterbacks and say this kid's worth 3 or 4 stars. And do you have a QB guy that just does it specifically? Do you have a guy that played the position at a high level? Where's his biases? Because he's got to have something,
Yeah, hey, give me a couple $1,000. I'll bump your stars up.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I should do. Do a little side fraud operation.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly, yeah.
Just get a good enough title, man. You'll get some money. I'm telling you. Come on.
It's crazy. The whole landscape of college football has changed drastically.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen it in the last 10 years since you got done playing. It's 15 years since I've got done playing. It's baffling how different it is now.
It's changing, and I do think there's some good that comes out of it. I do think that there's a lot of things that they have to work through. And, one thing we know for sure is college football isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
You saw that through COVID. I mean, they were finding a way to play football games.
Yeah.
And I think that's a beautiful thing about this sport. People needed this for their own sanity.
100%.
They have to have sports.
That's all people talk about. I get graphics that post all the time. Oh, yeah, we're 100 days away from college football.
That's all they're thinking about, man. People are already thinking about the bets they're going to place. You're like, man, like, good God,
That's right.
Yeah.
Shout out Hard Rock.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of good things that are happening. I think, it will all level out. I think we are in a phase of college football that we need to really go through the mud of it to figure out.
Do you see a light at the end of the tunnel as far as putting, kind of like you mentioned earlier, the bottleneck? Or is there going to be a bottleneck situation where the NIL and the transfer portal they figure out how to cap it, I guess, so to speak?
Well, I can't say this for certain. I think this is my own personal opinion based on the limited, information I've gathered. But it just seems like everything's heading right towards NFL model. Where guys are going to be on contract. There's going to be waiver wires. There's going to be different ways. You're going to have buyout clauses, all this kind of stuff too. And,
why would they not?
It's worked.
The NFL's works for a long time.
A long time. And, I don't know if that makes sense everywhere because schools have different regulations and conferences have different regulations. And who's going to be able to still pay the most? Obviously, there's going to be different bank accounts in Group of 5 and P4. I mean, significant.
You saw University of Texas, $40 million football roster.
Yeah, it's insane.
The fuck? How's that? How?
Yeah. And I mean, that's got to be NIL and rev share because the new deal
is $20 million. Yeah.
And they're probably what is NIL cap? You know, like if you have it and it's separate from rev share, how do you
police that? How do you
manage
monitor
that?
it?
I don't know. We don't deal with it, so I'm assuming people are throwing it out there because they all want to win.
Yeah.
You know? And, it's going to be interesting. There's going to be some corrections along the way, I think, too. There's going to have to be.
They have to.
They're
Yeah.
going to have to be.
They have to.
And then I'm gonna go on record here saying we need to start pitching for coaches NIL deals. I mean, we are.
Why the hell not?
Why not?
Why not?
Like, we are the most influential people in these kids' life besides their families. We deal with them every day. How do we get NIL deals for coaches to be able to say, you know what, man, you guys are also a big reason why this kid is good. There's a reason he showed up to your school. There's a reason that he's there.
And that's the first time I've ever heard that.
I've
Not from you, not from anyone. Like, no one's ever said anything like that. And that makes perfect fucking sense.
I was about to tweet about it the other day, but I was like, let me do some fact checking.
Coaches already get paid though.
We do get paid, but think about it all right, so in the grand scheme of it, compared to some of these other players,
No, I get it.
players are making more than us, and
Yeah.
we're definitely getting
And then
paid.
players are like, "Why should I listen to you? I make more money than you."
Right.
And
They're
there's
getting paid
plenty of stories like that.
and NIL money on top. They're getting the rev share deal from the games, and then they're getting paid on the side too.
Deal,
And
yeah.
I'm not saying coaches should be getting private jets and all that stuff too, but I mean,
Or maybe you are saying that.
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, why,
Allegedly.
Let's see if this thing gets some traction.
shit, we're gonna do our damnedest to make sure that it gets some traction. But I mean, that's a damn good point, man. And you're 100% right. You guys are with these kids, especially the kids from out of state.
Mm.
You're with them more than their family members by 90%.
90%. Yeah. And then the other side of it too is like the market that, like right now, Twitter is everything, or X now, and it's still hard to adjust to that whole
yeah.
nightmare. But it's everything, right? It's our number one lifeline for recruiting. If for young guys out there that are listening to this and trying to figure out the college football world and how you get to a Division I school, if you don't have an X, if you do not have putting things out there as we discussed before, you're not getting recruited. It's the first thing that we go to,
Yep.
right? We got to see all those things. But that is also going to be your market for things that are going on in the NIL space, who you're training with, who you're around, all that stuff too. But if you look on the coaches side of it, like we'll have right now, I'm over 35,000 followers,
right.
and all of them are usually one demographic.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's coaches and players.
Right.
So there's probably some companies that are going to be like, hey man, like I'm trying to sell products to the people that you're tweeting about, and you have 35,000 people that are in my demographic. Why would you not hit the coach up and say, hey man, here you go. Why don't you talk about this a little bit?
Yeah.
Show us with
NIL.
your quarterbacks. Hook them up, man. We play on that. We play on TV.
It's that's a damn good point. That's a very valid point. It's a fair point.
It's my solid pitch for the day, man.
I love that. And I love that he said, I want this on record. I love that.
Yeah.
That's the only thing he said today, that I want this motherfucker to be on record.
Yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Man, I'll tell you what, I'm so glad that you came down here and convinced you to come down here for some recruiting.
Recruiting, of course, man.
Recruiting, and dude, it's always a blast whenever you come down. We gotta go through the back house, and
Finally go viral. Yeah.
I had to delete that video, by the way.
No way.
Yeah, it didn't get as much traction as I thought it was gonna be, and
People getting soft.
people, yeah.
People getting soft.
I was getting DMs like, what are you promoting? It's like,
Yeah. What's the matter to you?
yeah. People are softer than baby shit, man.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But dude, this was freaking absolutely awesome.
Yeah. Appreciate you, man.
Absolutely awesome, man. Let's go.
Sean, thank you, man. It's been great.
Yeah. No.
Yes, sir, Sean.
Shout out to Fabre Frameworks. If you guys are in the real estate market, how about a little pitch for these guys, huh? Go ahead, Sean. Pitch it, man.
Real estate photography throughout the state of Florida. Google AI has already claimed us as the top 2 real estate photography companies in Florida, not to mention Grok 3 in Tampa Bay. Let me tell you something. If you're not using us, you are not selling homes and listings. How about Turn It Around? CPR, consistent, predictable, repeatable. It saves lives and it saves listings.
Nailed it.
Attaboy. All right, we got to get you guys as a sponsor of Sport and Suits.
Well, that's what it is up there, bro.
I need some.
Motherfucker, I need some money, dog.
Hey, I hope these cameras are rolling. But anyways,
They are rolling.
Good. This needs to be part of the deal. But again, we got Coach Sean Goldrich, longtime friend. Coach, the sky's the limit for you, man. I tell you this all the time, and you don't need me to tell you that anymore. You know what you're doing. But this is an absolute great episode. I think these young guys need to pay attention. Listen to what a college coach, you want to play college football, you might want to tune in and know what the fuck these guys are looking for. So like, comment, subscribe, share it to all your friends, show your parents. Sport and Suits.
Sport and Suits, man.
Turn on notifications. We'll see you next time. Cheers, pendejos.